How's it going, everyone? Crypto 3000 here, and today I have a very educational video for you guys, so make sure that you stick all the way through and watch it all. Go ahead and help me out by subscribing, help me reach 1,000 subscribers, and go ahead and like this video. Comment down below what you think is going on with Bitcoin, because I want to show you guys some very interesting things here. Okay, so if you guys look at this here, this is our fear and greed index, right? So pretty much what we know about the fear and greed index is that anytime that the fear is high, that the greed is high, are perfect times to sell, right? So these would have been perfect times to sell here. And then when it drops down here, when the greed drops, it's a perfect time to buy. Now let's look at this month, right? This month we've been hanging out around in the 70s, right? We were hanging out in the 70s. Let me move this here. Okay, and then just yesterday we dropped down to what looked to be 54 greed. I don't think it's going to get any lower than that, so I think yesterday was the best opportunity to buy. Maybe it can, maybe it will, I don't think Bitcoin is going to drop much lower. Things are starting to clear off, and usually April seems to be a very, very, very bullish month for Bitcoin. So I'm very excited for that. But with that being said, we also need to gear up and make sure that we come out profitable out of this bull market, because I see a lot of people giving this advice that is just hodl. Sure, I mean, that advice could work if you bought in at $5,000, if you bought in at $6,000, if you bought in Bitcoin at $7,000, right? That's great advice. Just hodl. I agree. But if you're like me and you bought in a little bit later, hodling is not going to work, right? We need to make sure that you understand that hodling is not going to work, because I sincerely believe that this bull market is going to come to a crash, and it's going to crash violently, right? People are saying, institutions are not going to sell. You want to believe that? Go ahead. I don't believe that for one bit. I do think institutions will sell. We'll just have to wait and see. What I know Michael Saylor, he's a big time holder, so I don't see him selling. Maybe he sells some of it, not all of it. But these other institutions that have bought in, that are just in it for the profits, I mean, come on, guys, come on, they're gonna sell, right? But again, like Tesla and Michael Saylor, maybe not. Maybe they just sell some of it. I don't know. But other institutions that have gotten in, they're gonna sell, right? People that have big bags, they're gonna sell. At a point, they're gonna sell. It's just gonna become at a point where the slope is just way too high, and then they see this is not feasible, and they're gonna sell, and it's gonna drop hard. Right. So we need to be prepared for that. So that's what this video is about. I'm here to prepare you guys and make you guys ready to take some profit. So what I want to share with you guys today is, if you took advantage of this dip, or just, I'm going to give you guys an example, right, of how to make profits, how to make some sure profits, right? I've been using this for the last few months, and it's worked well for me. So let me go ahead and share this with you guys. Okay. So let's see. This is what I call a ladder sell. So I'm going to give you guys, this is literally the example that I'm doing here, right? So I own pretty much about an Ethereum, one whole Ethereum, right? So I'm just going to, just to make it easy, I'm going to say I own one whole Ethereum. I own like 9 point something, but anyways, I'm just going to say I own one whole Ethereum. My average buy-in is about 1750, right? So that's my average buy-in, okay? So I bought a little bit here, bought a little bit there, bought some of that, like that. Okay. So anyways, what's my plan going forward? I do see, again, this has to be with what you believe in, right? I do believe that Ethereum will break 2,000 in April. Okay. So depending on what you believe, right, you would do your ladder sells. If you have a lower average buy, if you took advantage of this dip, and let's say your average buy is like 1650, then you might want to put these numbers a little bit lower, depending on what your average buy-in, right, is. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain what's going on here. I usually like to start selling my sells with smaller chunks, right? So my first sell is you go on your app and you put a limit sell, right? So sell when it reaches this price, and you have the ability to choose how much you want to sell. Okay, and I could do if you guys want a tutorial on how to do that on Voyager, go ahead and put it down below and leave me a comment down below, and I will definitely make you guys a tutorial on how I do that on Voyager. Again, this whole process here takes me about maybe 7-8 minutes to prepare, and I'm set. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't have to worry about when am I going to sell, when am I going to do this, right? It just sells by itself. And again, it's a very good tactic, I believe, because when your coins are going up, it's hard to sell. It's hard to sell, right? When your coins are going up, you don't want to sell. So this just kind of makes it like, hey, you have to sell, right? And you have to take in those profits. And I think it's a very, very good thing to do, because when it's going up, the psychology, the euphoria kicks in. I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell. And you start getting greedy. This is a good reminder. Don't get greedy, right? Don't get greedy, because it's going to come back now. There's going to be corrections along the way, right? I do believe Ethereum will be nice. So it's going to get a nice bump, right? But there will be corrections along the way. So along the way, I will also be buying, and I'll explain that in a second. All right, so stick with me, guys. Again, I want to make sure that I explain everything perfectly so you guys understand exactly what it is that I'm doing. All right, so I sell at 1850. I sell 0.05, right? And as we go down, you can see that my chunks start getting a little bit bigger. So once Ethereum hits 1900, I sell another 0.05. Okay, and then when it reaches 1950, now I bumped it up to 0.1. At 2000, I sell 0.1, and so on. You can tell that I'm just selling 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. And depending on what you want to sell, right? This is for you, depending on how much you have or how much you want to sell, right? How much you're comfortable selling, right? What a lot of people do is they'll just keep 0.05, right? They might go 0.05 here, and then they might go 1, 1, 1, and then over here they'll sell like right, they'll sell like 0.2 here and then 0.2. So these chunks just get bigger as they go down, right? Depending on how much they own, and then they'll sell like maybe 0.3, right? 0.3 there, whatever. So depending on how much you have, right? That's how much whatever you decide how much you sell. I just like to keep it nice and simple. I just go 0.1 all the way down, right? But whatever, it's your tactic, but it's your ladder sell. You put the numbers that you want if you want to use a ladder sell. Okay, so now what happens if let's say that Ethereum just reaches 1950 and then it goes back down? Well, it's good, because now you have some money that you can use to buy when it dips, right? So let's say that let's take this one here into consideration, 1950. Let's say that okay, I sold 1850, so I sold it 0.05 at 1850, right? So that would give me an average, this is how much money I sold it for, so $92.50 is what I sold. And right, what I would maybe, let's say it drops down to 1800, then I could buy back my position of 0.05 for $90, and then do this whole process again, okay? Then do this whole process again, and then put like a limit sell again at 1850 or whatever. If you have time, you can do that, right? Or you can just save your money and wait for a dip to come, which is what I like to do, right? If I don't have enough time, right? Because I mean, doing this for like $2 or whatever, right? For me, it's just, if you have more money that if you're dealing with more money, then go for it. But with the money that I'm dealing with, it's just, I don't see my time being worth that. So what I usually do is I just save this money and wait for the next drop. When everyone's scared, right? Oh, Bitcoin's done, right? Then that's when I like to buy. Okay. So yeah, and as you can tell, right, these profits I would just keep for myself, and I would put them into a stable coin. I would put my so $2.50, I would just put it into a stable coin, something like USDC, and be getting some safe interest that way. By the way, if you guys want to learn more about safe interest through stable coins, I have so many videos on my channel, so go ahead and check them out. Okay. All right, so you can do the same thing, right? As with the buys. So ladder buys. Let's say that that it's going down, right? Let's take this drop here for for a consideration, right? I like to do this here too again. That way you don't have to be looking at your phone like, oh, it's dropping, it's dropping. And that way you don't go, let's say you would have bought in all at 1600, and then you just see the price go all the way down. You're like, oh my goodness, I could have bought it for cheaper. That's why ladder buys are really good. You just set them up and just whatever happens, happens, right? Some of your orders might not get fulfilled, or all of them might get fulfilled, right? But let's say, right, for, I think it reached like 15, I'm not entirely sure, but let's say just 1550, right? Ethereum touched 1550. Then these over here wouldn't have get fulfilled. Then you just go in there and cancel them real fast. That way you have the money to buy wherever you want to buy. So those are ladder buys, right? That you can also set up. And if you guys want a tutorial on ladder buys and ladder sells, let me know down below. But that's pretty much what I'm doing to secure profits, guys. I do, but again, I think hodling is great if you were early, but if you're a newer investor, I mean, hodling will work in the long run. But if you're buying right now at 60,000 or 55,000, then it's gonna work for you. But you're gonna have to wait like 4 years to see the results, right? And I definitely know that this is not money that I can wait for, that I can wait 4 years for, right? This is money that I'm saving, money that I'm trying to build so that I can put in a down payment for my home. So this is money that I need, right? So I can't just let it sit there for 4 years. So I need to make sure that I secure those profits, right? If this is money for you that you don't need, sure, hodling is great. But if this is money that you are going to need in a year, in 2 years, right? Then this is something that you really want to consider and make sure that you're cashing in on those profits. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Again, I use Voyager app for this. So if you guys do want to check out the Voyager app, I will leave my referral down below. You guys get $25 free in Bitcoin, and so do I. So you guys can help me out that way. Okay. So yeah, any comments? I reply to every single comment down below. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. By the way, I just thought that this was interesting. So yesterday, everyone was saying Bitcoin to 45K, right? And today, out of nowhere, we're at Bitcoin to 80K. Like what? Like what's it? Yo, so just watch out, right? Crypto is very, very volatile. So just make sure that you're cashing in those profits, okay? So yeah, I do think April is going to be a great month though. So let's get ready for a great month to come. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you all next time.